Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Here we are on another lovely Wednesday class. There's Claire.
Hello. And Basti.
Hello. And we have Sarah, Bob, and Son on chat. So anyone who needs to, please do put on there anything you need. And we have Lynn from West Runton, Liz from South Norfolk. Anyone else coming in, please let us know where you're coming from. Always lovely to know, as we often have people all over the place. Iris from Germany, fantastic.
Oh, Gillian in London.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Keep coming in. Well, today we are carrying on with our theme at the moment, which is diagnosis and treatment. We've got this week and next week still going with this theme. And then this is going to be leading towards, in February, the 17th and 18th, we have a Shiatsu College weekend here in Norwich. And on the Saturday, the 17th, Cliff is going to be leading a CPD day, so a continuing professional development day, on the theme of diagnosis and treatment. So any practitioners out there who want to come along, feel free to get in touch with us through our Shiatsu College website or otherwise, and come along. It'll be great fun. And of course, we've got our Qi Gong sessions on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. You can just drop into as well, so it'll be fun. Okay, let's start the session. So as I often like to start, we've gone fuzzy. Hello, there we go.
Refocus.
Please take a moment. Hello, everyone else who's joining in. We've got Annette and Catherine and Simonetta, Vicky, Titus, Karen. Oh, so many people. It's lovely to see you all.
It is lovely.
So take a moment, whether sitting or standing, and just close your eyes for a moment. And just imagine yourself in a lovely circle of people. And this is all of the people who are here live for this session, as well as those later tuning in, all here in this moment. Doesn't matter whether you can see faces or not, we're just in a circle together. And let yourself feel that circle and have a bit of thanks for being in that circle. Lovely. Feels great already. Okay. So come back and we can get a little bit started. First of all, Claire would like to read something which she found this morning.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. So yeah, interestingly, we're going to do 2 points today. One is a water point, and water, as you know, is associated with the winter. One is a wood point, which is the spring. Yeah, and I don't know how you're all feeling, but for me, probably the last 5 days, I felt a lot more springy, like wow, I can't stop my mind, like all these ideas, creative ideas, and just a bit more. But there's still that feeling of winter. It's still cold, still feeling like I want to rest. But I love the crossover, and I love that today we're going to be investigating a point from each one. And yeah, there's this beautiful, I'm going to just read this from this little book. Get it the right way up. Yeah, so water to wood. So winter to spring transforms water into wood. Plant the seeds of your dreams, birth your vision. What was amorphous takes form. Well, yeah. So
nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like that. And I like that it is this moment that we've got in time where we're just moving from that very watery, stored winter place into just the beginnings of fresh movement of spring.
Yeah, and you've seen all the snowdrops starting to come up. There's a few crocuses.
Yes. So with that, we can begin to check in with ourselves. Now, if you've been here for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing lots on getting to know whether we've got obstruction in our body or whether we've got more deficiency, so a bit more blocked or a bit more weak. And so we'll do a quick scan. So if you'd like to stand up. You can do this sitting down. Always helpful as well if you have paper and pen nearby for making pictures and notes and all sorts. So finding yourself in a comfortable position, standing or sitting, just a little bit relaxed. And we're going to bring our attention to the top of the head and just be aware of how the head is feeling. Scan down, feel into the forehead, sides of the head, back of the head, and through the face, sense organs of the face and your jaw muscles. And just noticing if there's any sense as we scan through of things being a bit stuck and blocked or things being a bit weak in some way, or whether it's full. Just see how it is. So through the neck now, back of the neck, sides of the neck, throat, and into the shoulders and the shoulder girdle. You can move bits and pieces if you want to. And let's take our attention now down our arms. So through the shoulder joints and the upper arms, elbows, more stringy forearms, through the wrists, and the more intricate hands and fingers, you can give them a wiggle. And just spread your awareness out now through the whole of the head, neck, shoulders, and arms. Just being aware of a sense of any blockage, any weakness, what's it like? Okay, now let's scan through from the chest and upper back. How's that today? Through the sides of the body and the rib cage and inside sense of yourself. Down through the abdomen and the spine. And then across your hips and your pelvic girdle. Through the thighs, the longest part of the body, the longest bone in the body is the femur. So just this long area of the legs. And the knees, great big joint, the knees. How are they today? And now we're going to pass through the calf muscles of the lower leg into the ankles and the more intricate aspects of the feet and toes. Maybe grip the floor a little bit with your toes to really notice them. And then see what that's like. Okay, now from the ground up, get a sense of the whole body as a whole picture. How am I today? Settling in. And just notice if your attention is drawn to a couple of different places. What are they like? A bit more blocked, or a bit more uneasy, or not enough? Or maybe you're perfectly balanced, which is beautiful. Okay. So we're going to do one more check-in. So you can bring your attention back to normal if you want to. And if you want to make any notes of that, make a couple of notes. In fact, I'm going to, because there are a couple of interesting things I had going on. So I'm just going to do a quick. I had lots going on, as per usual, neck and shoulders.
Ah, and you had the artist from the book on one of your webinars, and she was wonderful, great.
Ah. Yeah, this little book, Human Nature, which is by Nini Melvin. She's fantastic.
And then Annette says on Saturday we move into the new year of the wood dragon. Yeah.
Yes.
Super woody. Amazing. Strong.
Okay. So if you've made any notes, you can write words or draw pictures. So just to briefly show you, this is me. If you can see that. So a lot more blocked up in the upper body and the shoulders, and then in the lower body a bit weak and sort of not quite enough there. We'll see if we can check in with that later if we've got time. We've got so much we want to pack in today. There's one other kind of scan I'm going to get us to do, and then we're going to do a couple of polls and just check in with how you're doing. So this, now that we've gone through ourselves a bit more, I want you to just check in again with that whole picture of yourself. And just briefly check in. Do you feel that your Qi, your Qi, your general sense of yourself and energy is a bit more up and upper body and full and lifting, or a bit low and heavy and sinking? Where are you in your sense of your energy? In the sense of where your Qi is heading in the body? Okay. Shouldn't take too long to just get a bit of a sense of it. So for me, it's really obvious. It's probably pretty obvious by my picture. I'm like all up there at the moment. How about you today?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely concentration in the top of my head, shoulders, but also I'm really noticing that I do feel quite sort of grounded more than usual, and like I've benefited from quite a restful winter. Like I feel quite, but there is also this like,
yeah,
a bit of both.
Yeah, I've definitely got a little bit of the excitement of energy as well as blockages going on.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at this as a first poll. Thinking about your scan and your energy, would you say you are mainly very deficient or a little bit deficient, maybe one or two places, about right, sort of balanced? Or would you say that you're a bit more blocked, one or two places, or like really stagnant and blocked and obstructed? So we've got a few answers coming in already. There's a bit more people who are feeling blocked and obstructed. That's interesting. There's a few people who are deficient. So there's a little bit of very deficient. We will make sure that we're going to work with both. Don't worry. And of course, we will encourage you to tailor whatever work we're doing for you. So if there's any work that we're doing where it's a bit much because you're feeling a bit deficient, do it very gently and more nourishing. Or if there's something where it's very soft movement, but you're feeling like you need to really let go, you can move into it a bit more strongly. So looks like most of the people are blocked or obstructed. Okay. Kim, yes, we can be a bit of a mess with all of the above.
Yeah, definitely. So common to have both going on.
And then the next one we did is your energy more up or more down? And maybe it's like really up and ungrounded, or just a bit up, which is fine. Maybe it's a little bit like, yeah, a bit more down. Or it's really heavy, which is really interesting to notice where people are with this. And it's a really good, like, simple sort of sense of where our Qi is heading. So interestingly, more people feeling a little bit ungrounded than too grounded. But there are some people who are just feeling about balanced. Well done. That's lovely. Hopefully by the end of this, everyone will be feeling completely balanced and perfect and cured of all ailments. Fantastic. So yeah, mostly a little bit ungrounded. Okay, fantastic. That's going to help us to manage our work. So quite often we do this thing of checking in with the points of the week early on, just to see where they're at and what they're like. And then we'll go into doing a bit of work to help shift our Qi and remove obstruction, strengthen deficiency, and then we will come back and work with those points more directly. So let's find the points of the week, of which we have 2 this time.
Yeah.
And the first one is the fantastic point, kidney 3. as you see, it is between the ankle, the inner ankle. So our inner ankle.
Knobbly bit.
And then, yeah, the big knobbly bit, the medial malleolus, and the tendocalcaneum, the big tendon at the back, your Achilles heel. So in a squishy bit in between your ankle and your tendon.
And you'll sort of know if you hit it, because it's usually quite poignant. It can kind of hurt a little bit, not in a bad way. You'll feel like maybe a surge of energy when you press it.
So, first point. But let's, whilst we're with the feet, just give a little bit of a squeeze to open out the feet. So we've got kidney 1. We can get into kidney 1. Ah, such a lovely point. Especially for those of us who we're a bit more up, this is a great point for helping us to sink back down.
Sonny, I'm giving 4 hours of doing tomorrow.
Oh, wow. And yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if you Google the artist, you can see that Carolyn's written, Nina, you can sign up to her classes.
Yeah, she's really wonderful. And she's great fun as well. She does lots of great activities. And she's gone into a book. If you want to look for the book, Human Nature, but all one word. All about the elements and how it lives in us. So it's beautiful. So squeezing around the foot in general, opening up the foot so that Qi can flow freely through our feet, the points that are there. Just contact kidney 3 and just have a feel what it's like. Not having to do too much, focus too much, just notice. Just notice, what's it like?
Might be different on each foot as well.
Yeah. So for me, kind of nourishing, a little bit tender. Okay, other side. Let's just grab kidney 1 on the other side, give it a little bit of a, I love this point. I mean, obviously, even better when someone else massages it. And as I've said before, a great point for contacting the yin of the body. So if we are, what's the word? If we are not sleeping well, if we're needing to get more into the yin of our sort of system, then this is a great point, especially to work in the evenings.
And it feels to me a bit like when you have shiatsu, like at first you're like, oh, nothing's happening. And then after a bit of work on kidney 1, like, you can really feel the difference. It's so powerful.
Yeah. And it can be great for helping those of us who maybe have energy up top, not just for bringing it down, but for opening up the channels into the lower body so that it helps that earth, qi, and yin quality from below. Now let's get in touch with kidney 3 on this side. Just see how it is. You know, maybe you notice a quality, maybe not. Maybe you notice if it's a bit more local or a bit more somewhere else.
Hi, Jane. Glad you could make it.
Okay. Interesting. Not as tender on this side, that's what I find. How about with you?
Yeah, my right side is more tender. Yeah, but both feel like, wow, that's
nice.
A good point for me to press.
So that is the first of our points of the week. Now we have another point, and we'll come back to all of the effects and everything. We're just kind of introducing you to the points. Now, if there is anyone out there who feels that they could be pregnant or are definitely pregnant, obviously this next point is a no-go, contraindicated in pregnancy. However, it is, as the image shows, from the center of the spine out towards the acromion, the end of your shoulder blade, you feel the tip of your shoulder joint, then it's halfway along, and it's where the sort of neck comes down and meets the shoulder line, right on top. And gallbladder 21, Jianjing, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, so if anyone out there I do know that someone in the audience does speak some Chinese, so if they want to say whether I'm pronouncing it right or not, that's fine. Go ahead. And this is a great point for clearing stagnation, for sending things downwards. I'm going to drop the slides. Here we are. So just hold that point and just notice, I mean, I always, as soon as I contact this, instantly feel it around my head, you know. Ow, but good.
And you can kind of like direct it downwards, kind of through your body, like really imagine going right. If you're sitting down, like right to your end of your spine or something.
Yeah.
Your bum. But I do this a lot on people if they've got migraines, and it's so incredible. Like just for like 5 minutes, just imagine you're pressing down through the body, and they're like, "Oh, my migraine's gone." So it's really good if you've got anyone at home and you've got a migraine to just anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful point. Okay, should we start doing a little bit more energy work, and then we can come back to the points as well, as long as we've got time to fit everything in.
Yeah, I reckon we have.
We've got time. We can do it. Okay, I'm going to pass over to Claire to start us off and get us into our dantian.
Yeah, so Basti's going to do some Qi Gong for us, but I thought to start with, I would lead you through a bit of building up the lower dantian. I went to one of Cindy Engel's classes last week, and we built up the lower dantian, and I just felt so peaceful and like more sustained. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it standing up. So if you don't mind standing up. And I'm realizing that we're just coming straight into it. So we'll do a bit of stretching. But what I'm going to invite you to do is just stretch how you feel your body wants to stretch. So I'm going to example it, but you can just see where, like, you might, for example, like you might want to do some side stretching because that's quite woody. It might help to close your eyes and just have a little sort of wiggle. You might want to stretch out the backs of your legs, especially if you're a cyclist, for example. And if you sort of roll your shoulders back. Move forward. And back again. Doesn't that feel better? Just a little bit of movement, you feel so much better. Yeah, nice. Get those hips out.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Shaking cures 1,000 ills. Yeah. As they say.
Okay. Who's ready for some Qi Gong? Okay. If you can, make your feet sort of hip width apart, parallel, with the outside of your feet parallel. Soft knees, but you're gonna, unlike in Wuji, you're gonna have your weight in the center of your foot. And your shoulders are gonna be sort of going down through your hips. And so you drop your spine, so it's sinking, relaxing. It's almost like you're slightly sitting on something. And your spine can stretch up and release up towards the sky. That's great. So we're going to do, going to place our left hand in our right hand and join our thumbs. And we're going to place that mudra, sort of between your belly button and the top of your pelvis. So that's where we're going to be focusing as well. And yeah, thanks, Basti. Yeah, and you might want to make it slightly tight in your hands. Have a play, but basically, so you close your eyes and we're going to sink, like gravity, sink our attention down through our bodies. Might get stuck at some places, like around the chest area. We're going to sink right down until we get to that lower dantium area between the belly button and the top of the pelvis. And we're just going to keep our attention in that area. And if you feel discomfort, maybe in your hips, shoulders, you can just work on really focusing on that area and trying to release it. And then coming back to the lower dantium. And like in meditation, if your mind wanders, when it wanders, just bring it back to that area between your belly button and the top of your pelvis. You might notice your breath getting deeper. Okay. And start to wiggle a little bit and take your focus a little bit away, and you might want to start opening your eyes and release your hands. Back in the room. Shake your hands out a bit. Wiggle your hips again. Shake your feet out.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. That sort of sense of like sinking in, becoming a bit more peaceful, but also settling and feeling a bit more strong and sustained.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be fantastic for any sense of deficiency, pretty much. And wonderful to always start in the lower dantian. Excellent. Okay. Anything else to add from that? Or?
No, I mean, what I'd normally do is like a close down, but I think we don't need that until after you've finished. Yeah.
Awesome. Well then, so I'm going to take us through a few of the movements from a set of Qi Gong called Baduan Jin, which is quite an old set of Qi Gong movements. It loosely translates as the 8 strands of silk brocade. And there are 8 movements to it, but I'm not going to show you all 8. I'll just show you about 4. And before we go into the movements, one thing that's quite useful to think is your feet want to be shoulder width apart. So it's often feet will end up kind of just being about hip width apart. But if you think you really want them shoulder width apart, then make sure you're at the right kind of width. And again, feet sort of straight forwards, and you relax your ankles, your knees, your hips, especially the fronts of the hips and the sacrum, so that it's like you're just about to sit down. So some of these will just be shoulder width apart, and some of them will be a bit wider, and I'll show you how to move wider, but basically you're just going from shoulder width, and you turn the feet out, and then bring yourself a bit wider. Just stay here for the moment. Okay, the first one, we're going to raise the hands up. We always start, and there's probably a lot of people out there who've done Baduan Jin before. And there's so many different ways of doing it. So this is how I learned. So please do join in how I'm showing you, but if you prefer to do it in a way that you've already done it, feel free to do that as well. So start off here as if we are holding a big bowl against our chest, but just relaxedly. So the shoulders are sort of sinking down the back, shoulder blades sinking down the back of the body, shoulders relaxed and away from the midline, armpits nice and open. This is how we start each of the movements. So from here, we're going to move to the first one, and you turn your hands over and sink down. So the middle fingers are touching each other on the crown of your head. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, press the feet into the ground, the hands into the air. I'll step back a bit so that you can see that when you come up, my wrist. When you come up, your fingers are still pointing towards each other. And your shoulders, they're not lifted, your shoulders are relaxed still. So if your arms can only go up this much, that's fine. If you can keep your shoulders relaxed and stretch your arms, also fine. Okay, so breathing in and sinking. Breathing out, pressing the earth, pressing the heavens, keeping the back straight. So breathing in. Breathing out. Trying to have the fingers pointing towards each other. So just doing a couple more breaths. And I'm just going to show from the side, we're trying not to do this with the body, trying to stay straight. Try not to let the arms come forwards, try to have them up. One last breath. Feel that torso nice and straight. Shoulders having to work to stay relaxed and down. Okay, let the arms sink outwards. Maybe give them a little bit of a loosen. Okay. Now we're going to jump now from number 1 to number 4. But this is one I particularly like. And this one I feel is good for helping to shift that stagnation. So when we turn the feet out from shoulder width, turn your toes out 45 degrees, and then bring the heels out so that it makes the feet straight again. And you'll find that you're really quite wide, but you have to sit down a bit more. And this is called horse stance. And it's a bit stronger on the legs. But bear with it. Just try and relax as much as possible. Open hips, open knees, open ankles. Again, hold the bowl. Relax the shoulders, open the armpits, sink the sacrum. Now in this one, we're going to turn the hips. So it's like you're keeping the upper body relaxed where it is. Turn the hips just enough so that you're pointing kind of off to the corner of the room. And as you do this, you allow the hands to turn out, spread the fingers, but then turn your head. And this is called the cow looking at the moon. Or sometimes it's also called the deer looking at the moon. So come to the center, breathing in, breathing out, sink a little, turn the hips. And it's only just enough. You're not sort of twisting the body. If you've got twists in your jumper, you've moved too far. You just turn the hips a little. And then gaze behind you. And feel the stretch across the head and the neck and the shoulder. Breathing in, come to center. Breathing out. So I'm just giving you a nice, simple, basic version of the movement. Just to help open parts of the body. Allow a bit more movement. Breathing in, come back to center. Sink into your hip on the other side. Turn the hands out. And look up behind you. And back to the center, breathing in. Last one, breathing out. And gaze behind you. Remember to allow that sacrum to be sinking, spine to be straight. Breathe into the center. Okay, relax. Shake the arms off if you need to, step in. Now, that can be really helpful for especially like upper body sort of stuck qualities. I'm actually getting really warm. I'm going to have to take my jumper off. Next one is working far more specifically with the water element. And I really love the visualization with this next one, and it can be done in two different ways. So we're going to go through both of them. The first version is going to be standing with the feet more in like shoulder width. And I want you to imagine that you're holding a bucket. Okay? So you're holding a bucket, which you can do with hands open, or you can imagine you're holding a bucket like you've got, the edge of the bucket here. Yeah. And you lift it up, level with kidney 27. So from here, keeping the spine so you're keeping the spine straight. We're going to bend the legs, so you sink down and then drop the spine forwards. But notice that I'm not crunching over and I'm not trying to be really sort of squat like this. You're kind of keeping the spine straight. Bend over and imagine you're sinking into a stream to pick up water and then draw it up. So literally that's the movement. Come down, pick up the water and bring it up to kidney 27.
Which is on the collarbone.
Yes. Just in here. We have done it once before if you're with us, but it's where the collarbone meets the sternum in the chest. So with this now, with this wonderful watery movement, imagine that you breathe in. As you breathe out, you sink down, strength into the legs. And then as you draw the water up, imagine that you're drawing up in the inside of the body as well, some of this water. Breathing in and then breathing out. And some of this water in your bucket, draw it up as you breathe in, drawing it up into the body. Drawing it up. Yeah, one more time. And drawing the water up the inside of the body. Okay, let's just hold that bowl for a moment. Notice what that feels like in the body. Okay. Nice. Don't know about anyone else, but I've got a nice sort of slightly more full feelings through the front here. So now we're going to do a slightly different version of this. And I really enjoy this next one, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. So
bucket of water.
Yeah, it's not everyone's bucket of water. This one involves 2 buckets. So we're going to go from shoulder width. This thing again of turning the toes out, but instead of turning the heels out, we're just going to leave the toes turned out. And the knees still want to be pointing out towards the toes. So some people can only sink down to about here, and that's enough, as long as your hands are reaching close to your knees. If you can, sink down and you can reach your ankles, wonderful, that's your bag, go for it. But as long as you can reach down to around about your knees. So it's like quite a strong sink, and you're going to turn the arms like this, and then stand back up, and it's like you're bringing them up and then over. And what I like to think with this is we have a yoke, you know, like a bar of wood across here. You have 2 buckets. You're bringing it into the stream to pick up water, and then you're going to lay the buckets on the yoke so that you can head back to the village with enough water. So this is the imagery. Okay, so you're in a stream that is this deep. So from here, breathing in and breathing out, sinking down, trying to keep your back nice and straight and upright. Stand up, breathing in, breathe out, breathing in. Okay, just do this another couple of times and I'll add something in. So I'm going to turn again. If you can, try and keep as straight as you can in your spine. So if you can keep sinking down straight here, great. Oh, we've gone fuzzy again. Where are we? There we are.
Yeah, it's refocused.
I think it's probably my arm sticking out. So when we sink down, stay as straight as you can. This takes relaxation in the hips. So if you can only get to here before you start tipping over, that's fine. Just come to here. If you can keep going, great. Go where you can go to. Now, as this is really strong in the legs, if you think the inside of your leg, where the kidney channel runs, starts to pull in, rather than pushing into the ground, pull in the inside of your leg to help you come up. So dip down to the water, pull in the legs to draw into the lower body. Breathe in, drawing. Last time. And then just come to hold the ball. Okay, let that one go. Probably going to want to shake off your legs a bit after that. Oh. A bit more of a workout. Where have we got to? Okay, so we're going to do just one more exercise. And again, this last one is going to be working with a bit more of the stagnation blocked energy, but less so in a physical sense. This one, I'll show you the movement first, just so you can get a sense of the movement. So this one again is we're going to come from shoulder width, turn the toes out, turn the heels out to make it wide. So again, you're in horse stance. Now, I want you to not just make a fist, but bring your thumbs in and then curl your fingers over your thumbs, but don't make it tight, just a loose fist over your thumb. Now, bring them either to your waist or to your hips. I prefer the hips. You've got this area called the Qi, and this is a seat of movement and power in the body. So it's often talked about in different practices, like your lower hara, your Qi, is like where the movement comes from. Okay, so you have your fists holding the thumbs, and the movement is essentially like a martial arts punch, but in slow motion. You turn your hip, and as you turn the hip, the hand comes out. And then as you turn back to the center, it comes back, and the other one then comes out as you get to the other side. So it's like, as you get to a point where you're central, essentially your hands should be pretty level, and then the end is just coming out. Okay. So nice and simple, like a sort of a martial arts type punch movement. However, what we're going to do with this now is, at the end, we're going to stop, turn over and open the hand like you're letting something go or giving a gift away. And then when you place your thumb back in your hand, it's like you're receiving a gift. Thank you. And put it back over. And now turn out and open the hand, let go, and then receive your thumb. Thank you. And the other side, let go. And then receive the hand. Okay, now I'm going to get one more level to this for you. Before you do the next movement to throw your hand out, I want you to get a sense of frustration, difficulty, maybe something in your life where you're a bit stuck or even angry about. And try to draw this anger, this frustration, this stuckness up as a feeling that you can recognize. Try and conjure it up in your body as an energy. Something you're maybe uncertain about, something you're maybe finding difficulty with. Try to feel that, how often it can be quite annoying and frustrating. And now send that through your arm as if you're angry, but then just at the end, let go. Okay, and then close the hand like it's a gift. The other side, conjuring a bit of frustration. And then, lovely. Okay. Other side again, conjure something of, maybe it's a bit less now, but okay, and then maybe you need to give a little shake through the body. And then over, we'll just do two more. Some kind of tension or frustration, and then at the end, maybe you want to just give it more of a thank you. As you close your thumb, almost have a thank you. Okay, last one. And a thanks. And then you bring that back in. We'll hold the bowl just for a moment and just relax the ankles, feet on the ground with the toes gripping the floor a little. Soft and open in the ankles, the knees, the hips. Your pelvic floor gently tucked in and held a bit. Spine nice and strong with that lower dantian we were working with. Relaxed in the chest with the shoulders sunk slightly backwards and away from the midline with the armpits nice and open. Head floating towards the heavens, spine hanging towards the ground. Just letting your breathing be as your breathing will be. Just a couple more breaths. Okay, let the arms drop down, let the feet bring in, and give yourself a little bit of a loosen and a shake. Okay. Now, how was that?
Lovely. Yeah.
Brilliant. And how is that for everyone at home? Let's
Got
just
a thumbs up, I can see from here.
So we've got okay, some nice chat going on. Kim, love it, fantastic. So on Sunday, normally we have Meridian yoga at the college. This is the Sunday coming up, which is the 18th of February. But instead, I'll be running a Qi Gong class where we'll go through all of the Baduan Jin movements with a bit more detail. So if you want to tune into that, you can get in touch with us through, I think, Shiatsu College, Norwich? I can't remember. You can call us here, 01603 632555.
But you could also just Google Shiatsu College Norwich and it will take you to the website.
Thank you very much. I had a sudden mind blank of how do we get in touch with this thing? So Sonia, really great moves, fantastic. Annette, wonderful. Carolyn, fab. Lynn, good. Thank you, Gillian. And Michael and Catherine, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. We are going to get back.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah's put the link up there.
Oh, there we go. So we're going to go back into the points now before we have to run away and disappear to the rest of our lives. We're going to get back into these points. So let's hop them up again. Should we start with kidney 3 again?
Yeah.
Yep, for going in.
Cool. So maybe let's start with our right foot.
So we can see. Do you want the chair?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Just have it excuse me for my big blister. Yeah, so found it before, kidney 3, find the lumpy bit and the tendon, and it's between there and you feel it. Oh my goodness, mine is really different. I wonder how yours is. Mine is much less tender, much less taut, and maybe just sort of spend a second just really tuning into it, pressing it in. And
just to drop in with, if you can be still in a sense of your alignment and openness, like we've been with the Dantian and with the Qi Gong, try to have that same alignment as you drop into your points.
So it's a very relaxed pressure, but very focused. Lovely. And give it a little massage. Okay. And then if you pick up the left foot, find the point again, lumpy bit, tendony bit, and then in the middle, and you'll feel the kind of whoosh when you press it. It's almost like a bit of a dip actually on my foot. Yeah, again, sort of relax your body and gentle but focused pressure into the point. See how it feels. Mine feels so different on the left. It's almost like I can't feel anything. It's not hurting at all. Lovely. Thanks, everyone.
I'll tell you what I noticed straight away.
What did you notice?
So before, my right foot was a bit tender, but it felt nourishing. And the left foot was just sort of like kneading it a bit. This time when I held the left side point, it wasn't so strong in its knead, but I felt the channel all the way up into my lower
Wow.
body,
Oh, cool.
open up. That's great. And then in the left side, there was no tendon. So the right side, there was
Yeah.
no tenderness left.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Wow.
it's already strengthened through all the work that we've done.
Wow. And that was a little bit of Qi Gong, and look how much. How about you guys? How did you get on?
So yeah, doing the feet is always great. I agree.
Through kidney 3 now. I feel the kidney meridian in all the leg. Yeah, nice. Just like Basti.
Same, Simonetta.
Cool. Isn't that cool? How just that session we did, and pain's gone, and you can feel much more of a connection with the channel.
Should we have a quick look at the slides to see what the...
Yeah.
So while people put in what they had going on.
So Lynn's left side was tender, now much better, no pain. How amazing.
Wonderful.
See, it's always so powerful when you do work for yourself, isn't it? Like, yeah, amazing. So yeah, kidney 3. So supreme stream. Doesn't that feel such a sort of apt name for that point?
Yeah. Tai Chi. Tai Chi. And I think I'm pronouncing that right, but it's saying great stream or supreme stream, and it really is describing the quality of that sort of space between the bone and the tendon.
Yeah, like water gushing, isn't it? Yeah. So it tonifies the kidney yin and the yang, so it's a pretty magical point, and can use it if you're deficient or have excess. Benefits the lungs. You can almost sense that kind of connection to the lungs. It is slightly lungy.
Yeah.
Strengthens the lumbar spine. Yeah.
And as we've gone over before, the kidney chi in general governs the spine, the bones, but also the lower back especially. So any sort of back stuff, this is a great point.
Yeah.
And any type of deficiency, whether it's more towards you being deficient in your yin, so you're feeling the heat and the upwards more, or whether it's more deficiency of the yang and you're feeling like low and sort of cold more, then this point, it benefits the yin and the yang.
Can't go wrong.
Okay, so let's quickly get to the other point before we all have to disappear.
Yeah. So yeah, gallbladder 21, Jianjing, shoulder well. So yeah, so if you find it again, let's do the left side first. On the highest point of the shoulder, probably the most tender place on your shoulder. And Jane saying hers is still a little sharp, but her boyfriend woke her up at 6 a.m. Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, maybe give it a little massage because that's so nice on there, isn't it? And yeah, and then focus downwards a little bit, noticing how it's feeling. Mine's still quite tender. They can be quite stubborn, these woody meridians.
Yeah.
And then we'll just try the other one, try the right side. Little massage. Lovely. And then, yeah, so a little bit of a focus downwards. That's great. Give it release and shake out. How did everyone find that? How did you find that, Basti?
Yeah, I always like these points, and it always does feel stubborn, like it's not wanting to go anywhere. But then as soon as I start sinking through it, it's like...
Oh, right.
On this side, I instantly, once I started to, that thing of like, rather than it just being about the tough, tight shoulder, started sinking in. Immediately I felt it sink into my hip.
Oh, wow. Which
this is a slightly, sometimes annoying, problematic hip. And on this side, it just felt more like a spreading throughout the body.
Powerful. Because quite often with the wood element, it just wants to be seen, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
just me, and then it can move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so GB21 needs more work, doesn't it?
Yeah, still a bit tender on the left, right side much better. Fantastic.
Amazing.
These are strong points and well worth connecting with. We are running out of time, so before we leave, may we all just have a moment to just meet as a circle again with each other. So sitting or standing, just take a moment to close the eyes. and see the circle again of everyone and just be in that circle. And thank you so much for joining in. Have a moment of thanks with the whole group. And thanks so much for this class existing, because it's so lovely to be part of.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And have yourself a lovely week.
Yes.
And we'll see you again next week. Yes, I'm going to put a heart in here as well. Love you all so much. There we go. And I will be running it again next week. Sorry, you'll have to put up with me again. You're welcome to join again if you want next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then that will be, I think, the final week before we go into the Diagnosis and Treatment College weekend. So yeah, if anyone wants to get in touch, Google the Shiatsu College Norwich.
And the link's also in the chat as well.
Yeah, and the link's in the chat there if you want to grab it.
Yeah, come and give us a try.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to say cheerio. Have a wonderful week and lots of love.